In the late 19th century, the Philippines was a colony gripped by poverty, injustice, and oppression under the Spanish rule. But amid the darkness, a voice of reform emerged. Dr. Jose Rizal. His writings, his courage, and his vision for his country resonate to this day.
Rizal was born into time of great turmoil, where the Filipinos people faced poverty, racial discrimination, and exploitation. But Rizal was no ordinary man. He saw beyond the chains of colonialism and sought a different future.
His passion for reform would lead to write his novels, Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, works that expose the cruelty of colonial regime. In 1890, Rizal wrote one of his famous essays, The Indolence of the Filipinos. He argued that the so-called laziness of his people was not inherent, but rather a result of a Spanish colonial policies.
Rizal pointed to the forced labor system, the lack of access to education, and economic restrictions placed on the Filipinos as the root causes of what is perceived as indolence.
How can the Filipinos be indolent when they are denied the basic means to improve their conditions, forced into labor, taxed beyond reason, and without opportunities to learn?
Rizal was determined to reveal the truth, that colonialism had crippled the Filipino spirit, not laziness.
Colonialism does more than physically oppress. It changes the way people think about themselves. Rizal understood this deeply. He saw that colonialism bred a mindset of inferiority, which justified the exploitation and subjugation of the Filipino people.
Through his writings, Rizal challenged the psychological chains of colonialism. He urged his countrymen to break free from the notion that they were naturally inferior to their colonizers.
Colonialism's impact went beyond the physical. It left a psychological scar that Rizal sought to heal through education and reform.
Even now, the socio-economic issues Rizal spoke of, such as poverty, exploitation, and lack of education, are still present. His ideas challenge us today to look at our history and strive for a better future.
Rizal's vision for a free and educated Philippines has shaped the nation's identity. His call for reform was not just for his time, but for all the time. Jose Rizal's legacy lives in the hearts and in the minds of the Filipino people. His visions of freedom and dignity is as relevant today as it was over a century ago.
The future of our nation depends on how we remember the past. Let us not forget the sacrifices for freedom comes not as a gift, but as a right earned.